Hello, and a warm welcome to everyone joining me today. I am Dr. Caroline Bennett. Today we are going to walk down the aisles of your local supermarket, but we are going to do it with a new pair of eyes. We are going to expose one of the most pervasive, damaging, and scientifically incorrect marketing campaigns in the history of modern nutrition. I want you to picture the scene. It is January, or perhaps it is a Monday morning. You have decided it is time to get healthy, to lose a few pounds, to take care of your heart. You walk into the grocery store, and you are drawn to the labels that promise you salvation. You see the bright pink and blue lettering screaming at you from every shelf. 0% fat. Low fat. Light. Heart healthy. Slim. You fill your cart with skim milk, fat-free strawberry yogurt, light salad dressings, and low-fat crackers. You feel virtuous. You feel like you are making the responsible choice. You think, if I don't eat fat, I won't get fat. It is a simple, logical equation that we have been taught for 40 years. It seems almost like common sense. But what if I told you that those very products, the ones you buy to lose weight and get healthy, are actually the very things that are keeping you overweight, inflamed, and metabolically broken? What if I told you that the low-fat label is often a disguise for a chemical cocktail that is far more dangerous to your longevity than natural fat ever was? Today we are going to deconstruct the great low-fat lie. We are going to look at the history of how we started fearing fat. We are going to explore the food chemistry of what actually happens when you remove fat from a product. Spoiler, it tastes like cardboard, so they have to fix it. We will discuss the insulin disaster caused by these foods, and I will give you the permission, and the medical prescription, to bring real, whole, natural fats back onto your plate. To understand why we are in this mess, we have to look briefly at history. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, the dietary guidelines in the United States and Europe underwent a radical shift. Based on observational science that has since been largely debunked or heavily nuanced, governments declared war on dietary fat, specifically saturated fat. The logic was simple thermodynamics. Fat has 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. Therefore, if we cut out the fat, we cut the calories, and everyone gets thin. The food industry responded immediately. They stripped the fat out of everything. Cookies, yogurts, milk, cheese, salad dressings. All of them were stripped of their natural lipids. But the food scientists hit a major problem immediately. Fat is not just calories. Fat is flavor. Fat is texture. Fat is mouthfeel. Fat is the carrier of aroma. When you take the fat out of a yogurt or a cookie, it loses its creaminess. It becomes watery, chalky, and bland. It tastes like chemical sludge. The food industry knew that nobody would buy this. They needed to keep selling products. So they had to re-engineer the food. They had to replace the missing fat with something that would make the product palatable, addictive, and shelf-stable. They replaced the fat with the unholy trinity of metabolic disease: sugar, refined flour, and chemical thickeners. Let's look at the first and most dangerous substitute: sugar. When you pick up a container of 0% fat fruit yogurt, I want you to turn it around and look at the nutrition label. Do not look at the calories. Look at the sugar. A standard cup of low-fat fruit yogurt can contain anywhere from 20 to 30 grams of sugar. That is the equivalent of a candy bar or a can of soda. Why is this there? Because without the fat to coat your tongue and provide satiety, the food needs to hit your bliss point to make you like it. They pump it full of high-fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, or fruit juice concentrate. Here is the metabolic tragedy of this swap. When you eat natural fat, like full-fat plain yogurt, the fat slows down the emptying of the stomach. It acts as a buffer. It slows down digestion. It buffers the absorption of any natural sugars, like lactose, into the bloodstream. Your blood sugar rises gently, and your insulin rises gently. When you eat the fat-free version, there is no lipid buffer. You are eating a cup of rapidly absorbing sugar and protein. Your blood glucose skyrockets. Your pancreas panics and floods your system with insulin to bring that sugar down. Insulin is the fat storage hormone. I need you to remember this phrase. When insulin is high, your body physically cannot burn its own fat stores. It is biologically locked in storage mode. So you are eating a diet food that creates a hormonal environment that commands your body to store fat. You get a sugar high, followed by a sugar crash 90 minutes later. And what happens when you crash? You get hungry again. You crave carbohydrates. You reach for another low-fat snack. It is a vicious cycle of hunger and storage, driven by the very food supposed to help you diet. Now let's talk about the second trap: texture and thickeners. Fat provides structure. It makes salad dressing cling to the leaf. It makes mayonnaise creamy. It makes yogurt thick. It makes peanut butter spreadable. When you remove the fat, the product becomes watery and unappealing. To fix this, food scientists open their chemistry sets. Read the label of a low-fat salad dressing or a light mayonnaise. You will see ingredients like modified food starch, xanthan gum, guar gum, carrageenan, cellulose gel, and mono, and diglycerides. These are not foods. These are industrial texturizers designed to trick your tongue into thinking it is eating fat. While some of these are benign in small amounts, others are problematic. For example, carrageenan and certain gums have been linked to gut inflammation and alterations in the microbiome. We are seeing more and more research suggesting that these emulsifiers can strip the protective mucus layer of the gut lining, leading to leaky gut and systemic inflammation. Furthermore, many low-fat baked goods utilize refined white flour and maltodextrin to create bulk. Maltodextrin has a higher glycemic index than table sugar. It spikes your blood sugar faster than eating straight glucose. So, in exchange for saving a few grams of fat, you are introducing compounds that destabilize your blood sugar, irritate your immune system, and disrupt your gut bacteria. Is that a fair trade? The third problem with low-fat foods is the satiety paradox. There is a hormone in your gut called cholecystokinin or CCK. When you eat fat, real butter, olive oil, the fat in an egg yolk, it enters the small intestine and triggers the release of CCK. This hormone travels to your brain via the vagus nerve and flips the switch that says, "Stop eating. I am full. I am satisfied." Fat is the most satiating macronutrient. It signals deep, long-lasting fullness. When you eat low-fat foods, this signal is weak or non-existent. You eat the low-fat crackers or the low-fat yogurt, and physically, your stomach might be full of volume, but hormonally, your brain is still screaming, "Feed me," because it didn't get the lipid signal it evolved to expect. This leads to what psychologists call the halo effect. Because we think the food is healthy and light, and because we are not satisfied, we end up eating significantly more of it. Studies have shown that people will eat up to 30% more calories when they are eating foods labeled low-fat, compared to the full-fat version. You eat more, you enjoy it less, and you are hungry again sooner. The fourth, and perhaps most critical issue for my longevity patients, is the nutrient absorption crisis. Many of the most vital vitamins for your immune system, your skin, and your brain are fat-soluble. This means they can only be absorbed by the body in the presence of fat. These are vitamins A, D, E, and K. Let's look at the classic diet lunch. A big bowl of raw salad vegetables with a drizzle of fat-free, Italian dressing. You think you are eating a nutrient-dense meal. You are eating spinach, carrots, tomatoes, and peppers. You feel proud of yourself. However, because there is no fat in that meal, your body cannot extract the nutrients. The beta-carotene in the carrots? You flush it out. The vitamin K in the spinach? Malabsorb. The lycopene in the tomatoes? Wasted. You are essentially creating expensive waste. To get the value out of a salad, you must eat it with fat. A dressing made with real olive oil, slices of avocado, or some nuts and seeds. The fat acts as a taxi driver, picking up the vitamins and driving them across the intestinal wall into your bloodstream. A fat-free salad is a nutritional oxymoron. It does not work. Then there is the issue of brain health. Your brain is approximately 60% fat by weight. The myelin sheath that insulates your neurons and allows for fast thinking is made of fat and cholesterol. For decades, We were told to avoid cholesterol and saturated fat to save our hearts. While we certainly don't want to eat endless amounts of processed meats, the natural fats found in eggs, dairy, and lean meats provide the structural building blocks for our brain. When we went on the low-fat craze, we replaced these building blocks with sugar. The result? A brain that is inflamed, starving for nutrients, and riding a glucose roller coaster that leads to brain fog, anxiety, and eventual cognitive decline. The low-fat era correlates perfectly with the rise in neurodegenerative diseases. So, what does this mean for your grocery shopping? It means we need to rewrite the rules. I want to give you Dr. Bennett's protocol for navigating the dairy and condiment aisle. Rule number 1. If it says low-fat or fat-free, leave it on the shelf. Assume that if the fat is gone, sugar and chemicals have arrived to the party. The only exception to this is if a food is naturally fat-free, like an apple, a potato, or a cucumber. But for processed foods, it is a massive red flag. Rule number 2. Buy full-fat dairy. When you buy yogurt, buy whole milk, plain Greek yogurt. It should have 2 ingredients, milk and cultures. That's it. It will taste rich, creamy, and tart. If you want it sweet, add your own fresh berries or a teaspoon of raw honey. You control the sugar, not the manufacturer. The fat in the yogurt will keep your blood sugar stable and keep you full for hours. The same goes for cheese. Buy real cheese, not cheese product, or low-fat shreds that don't melt because they are made of plastic-like polymers. Rule number 3. Make your own dressing. Commercial salad dressings are often based on cheap, inflammatory seed oils like soybean or canola oil, heavily sweetened with sugar to mask the taste of the cheap oil. Make your own. It takes 30 seconds. High-quality extra virgin olive oil, a splash of apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, salt, pepper, and herbs. Shake it in a jar. You have a dressing that is anti-inflammatory, delicious, and helps you absorb your vitamins. Rule number 4. Respect natural fats. Do not fear the fat in a whole egg. The yolk contains choline, essential for the brain, and biotin for your hair. Do not fear a piece of high-quality cheese. Do not fear half an avocado. Do not fear a handful of walnuts. These are whole foods. Your body knows how to metabolize them. They do not spike your insulin. They feed your cells. Now I hear the objection already. I hear it every day in my clinic. But Dr. Bennett, what about the calories? Fat has more than double the calories of protein or carbs. Won't I gain weight eating full-fat cheese and oil? Here is the truth. Calories matter, yes. But hormones matter more. A diet that controls insulin, the fat storage hormone, is the diet that works long-term. When you eat whole fats, you naturally eat fewer calories because you get full. You stop. You don't have the blood sugar crash that sends you running to the pantry an hour later. You are metabolically satisfied. When you eat low-fat, high-sugar foods, you are never satisfied, and you are constantly triggering insulin, telling your body to hold on to weight. I have seen patients switch from a low-fat/high-carb diet to a moderate-fat/low-sugar diet, and the weight starts to fall off effortlessly. Their brain fog clears. Their skin glows because they are finally absorbing vitamin E. Their constant, gnawing hunger vanishes. They are not starving themselves. They are nourishing themselves. We have been the subjects of a 40-year experiment that failed. The low-fat era did not make us thinner. It made us heavier, sicker, and more diabetic. It replaced nutrient-dense foods with sugar-dense fillers. It is time to end the fear. It is time to trust nature again. Nature doesn't make low-fat cows or low-fat avocados. The fat is there for a reason. It is energy. It is structure. It is life. I want you to try a challenge this week. Go to your fridge. Look at your condiments. Look at your yogurts. Look at your coffee creamer. If you see high fructose corn syrup or modified starch as the second or third ingredient in your healthy food, throw it out. Replace it with the real version. Eat the butter, not the margarine. Eat the olive oil, not the light spray. Eat the whole egg. And notice how you feel. Notice how your hunger calms down. Notice how your food actually tastes good again. Eating healthy should not be a punishment. It should not be a life of dry, tasteless cardboard food. It should be delicious. And frankly, life is too short for low-fat cheese. If this video has changed the way you look at those pink and blue labels, if it has given you the permission you needed to enjoy your food again, please leave a like and share this with a friend who is still stuck in the 1990s diet trap. I am Dr. Caroline Bennett. My mission is to give you the science to live longer, stronger, and happier. Eat real food, don't fear the fat, and I will see you in the next video.